had been scheduled to hold today across major and minor cities in Nigeria. I can authoritatively confirm to you that in the capital, Abuja, the economic capital, Lagos, and many other states, the protests have indeed begun, and it has gone it has gone south in various places, and in some places the reason for the protest and wonderful guests today on the program. And like you know, we do not have biased individuals. We have individuals who argue left, right, and center, as the case may be. One of our guests is not in the studio. I'm talking about our own correspondent, Olalekan Adetunji, who is right now live at Ojota, one of the venues for the End Hunger, End Bad Governance, and a lot of other things that the youth want ended there at the Ojota Freedom Park in Ojota. Sorry, the Gani Farami Park in Ojota. Lekon, good afternoon to you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. I can hear you.
All right, great to have you. You've been sending us beautiful and wonderful videos all morning. You've actually followed the protesters all the way from Ikeja under bridge to Ojota, where you are now. Take us through that journey in a couple of minutes.
All right, thank you. Once again, good afternoon, Shegun. Good afternoon to everyone in the studio. And of course, good day to you from all over the world, wherever you're watching us from. The protest started around, the protesters gathered at Ikeja under bridge, and the protest started. And in a few minutes, the police officers came to meet the protesters and peacefully and respectfully told them to move to Gani Farami Park, also known as the Freedom Park in Ojota. It has been peaceful so far, and about 24 hours ago, news circulated that the Lagos State government got a court order to restrict the protesters to certain locations within the state. So I guess that was what prompted the directive from the men of the Nigerian Police Force, Lagos State Command. And of course, everybody moved. We had patrol trucks, patrol vans at the front, and patrol trucks and patrol vans at the back. So the protesters were in between, just as the police officers promised, and they promised that everything will go on smoothly. I must give kudos to the protesters, and I must commend men of the Nigerian Police Force as well. Everything was fantastic because they controlled the traffic and made sure everything went fine. From Ikeja under bridge down to Gani Farami Park here in Ojota. And as in peaceful, the Lagos State Commissioner for Police was here earlier. The Lagos State Public Relations Officer, SP Benjamin Udeyi, for Lagos State Police Command was also here. And of course, the Commissioner of Police also commended the protesters and men of the Nigerian Police Force for their professionalism, for the mutual understanding between the two parties. And he told them that everything will go fine. As I'm talking to you, protesters are here on the road. We've not been allowed into the park. Actually, when we came, the park was bushy. But the bushes are currently being cleared. So I guess the protesters will have access to the park tomorrow. Because when when the Commissioner for Police was asked about access to the park, he promised us and he assured us that there won't be any problem. We will be granted access into the park. I guess that was why the hearing and every other thing started. Because we were here when it started, and it's still on.
All right, so sorry for cutting you short, Lekon. So you are saying nobody has been harassed so far? No journalists have been harassed?
Everything has gone on.
So far, so good. No one has been harassed. I can tell you that categorically as someone who has been on ground for the past 4 hours plus, who followed the procession right from Ikeja under bridge to Freedom Park here in Ojota. No one has been harassed. No protester, no organizer, no police officer has been harassed. No canister has been fired. No tear gas has been fired. Mutual understanding, mutual respect between everybody here.
I was told that the CP came with gala and water for the protesters. How true is that information?
Sorry, come again, please.
I was told that the Commissioner of Police came along with some, choppings and munchings, gala and water for the protesters. How true?
That because When he was addressing us, I was there. I was when he addressed us to the left. So probably there was an underground stuff, I don't know, but I actually can confirm that. I'm not sure that happened. I can confirm it. Maybe it happened or not, I don't know. But I saw it when he was addressing us, and the the police public relations officer was also with him. So that I can confirm.
All right. Will the protest be continuing tomorrow? Have the protesters said they will be there tomorrow?
Yes. From what I've gathered so far, they are saying they will be here tomorrow. But I've had people saying, see, we are using that Freedom Park. Now inside that Freedom Park, now we go use tomorrow. You know, the energy is high and everything has been okay. But from what I've gathered so far, they are saying they will be here tomorrow as well.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Lekon. We really appreciate what you are doing so far. Fantastic job. Good one.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. So now to the guys here in the studio. I've not introduced them. To my left is Daniel Anyotwe, and to my right is you know him. You see him, you love him.
Fine! Alright, so protesters are now at Freedom Park.
So fighting the
Fine!
Alright,
so protesters are now at Freedom Park. And this heavy security, of course, you can see patrol vans, security trucks. And good morning, everybody. This is the end hunger strike protest happening. Your name, sir? Comrade Declan Hikari.
Stepped on it or something. He said, some of these bandits, or should we say, Boko Haram members, use them as guides. And then, unfortunately, about 10 people have said to have lost their lives in Maiduguri. In Kaduna, we saw what has happened, chaos as well. In Abuja, a journalist was beaten. Many of them were made to run. We saw blood on some people in Kano. Kano there's complete breakdown of law and order in Kano. That is no longer a protest. In Delta, our correspondent, a Punch correspondent, was beaten in Delta as of today, and reporters for other organizations. You are one of those people that was saying the people needed to speak up. They've spoken up, and in just one day, you know, they say it's day 1 to day 10. In just one day, we are here. Lives have reportedly been lost. You know, everywhere has shut down in Lagos and Ogun and so on. Protest in Abeokuta. What's going on? Of
course, what is going on is not far-fetched. It is we are aware, and of course, it is expected that things like this will happen, especially if you look back in history when it comes to Nigerian protest. You always have situations where there will be crisis. And of course, protest is always two sides. You have the part where it will not be peaceful. Yes, it is not so surprising that we are having things like this. And of course, but we know one thing for sure, that some parts where this protest has not been peaceful. They have had record of some issues or the other in terms of political stability or crisis in the last couple of months. If you mentioned the aspect of Kano State, where we are aware they had a series of issues when it comes to the political issues there. So, and of course, we know that issues like this will come up. But one thing I would not also support is to have protests that is violent. We don't need to have protest, violent protest and all that. The protest is important. Yes, you have protests to vent whatsoever issues that is disturbing to the people. The people, that is one of the channels that they will say yes to communicate to the government that this is what we do want, this is what we don't want. Like I said last time, when you have such protest, the government should allow it. But of course, the situations we have found ourselves, even in the past, is that when you have a protest, you will have a counter-protest that will be organized by some people who have interest in the political structures or political side, who are for the government in the country.
Are you saying it is the guys that are doing the say no to protesters that are the ones causing this chaos?
Of course, we have had records of the fact that, and a lot of things are online, which we are all aware of, where we have situations, yes, we may say they are speculations, but we know that, of course, we have had situations where even the persons within the government circles are using protest to stop protest,
Okay.
which is not what should be.
All right, I'll move to Mr. Liu. On this show, several times we've always said protest is not the way. Protest is not the way to go. Yeah, like you say. But now we are here. We are here despite what the president and people in government tried to stop. But Lekon just told us that Lagos has been very peaceful. Lagos has been peaceful. From Underbridge Ikeja to Ojota was peaceful. The commissioner of police and his men went there to secure the people. Some other parts have been peaceful as well. It shows that the protest is working.
It is. It is. In all ramifications, government is listening to the people. But the thing I always say is, are the people listening to government? We need to understand what is governance. Governance is not about bread and butter, only food. No, there's so much encompassing. And it's this little resources that you have to share in this whole thing we call governance. So the people should please, as you're protesting, you are making your demand, don't destroy others. You have a right to protest, good. Others too have a right not to protest. They have a right to go about their life peacefully. Look at the house they vandalized in Kano. It was for the youth. That building has not been commissioned. That building was, the minister was complaining on Twitter.
The minister has come out to say, of course, we've seen pictures of people looting brand new chairs. Is
that a protest? That's vandalism. That's riot. And those people must pay. Nobody will be in government or a leader who will allow such to happen. So, but again, having said that, it has happened. It has happened. I hope the government have listened and they will do the necessary correction. People say they are hungry. So how do we feed ourselves? So let's go back to the drawing board. We won't open our doors down for people to bring in food for us to kill the farmers at home. So we have to do that planning, necessarily planning. Look at it, intentional way of getting our people fed day and night. So what? The protest is on. I pray it won't go beyond today and tomorrow so that people can have peace. And we are losing money. Government is losing money. The private sector is losing money. A lot of people are not on the offices today now. Money is going down the drain.
Is this the only language the president and the people in government understand?
Saying it's not the only language, but I will always say, yes, I will say it's not the only language, but it is the only means that the government can actually understand what is actually happening. Yes, I am saying it is the only means that the government can understand, because before now, there have been clamors, experts, individuals, civil society organizations. Go back in memory lane, go and look at the pages of the newspapers. CSO tells government not to do this, CSO this, and individuals, different persons. We have seen social media, Twitter, people come out to complain, the government, this is this. And you still keep seeing things that the government is doing that is not in line with answering some of these things that... Yes, I wouldn't say the government did not answer some steps. The government has taken some steps in some way. For example, there was a time that they wanted to have a lot of policies that the people said, no, we don't want it, and the government reversed it. Yes, but again, the major thing that we are of concern, the masses is of concern, is that let the common man be able to eat peacefully, reduce the fuel, petrol, put policies in place that will allow the people. And the complaints, these are complaints. You can't say it because your child... Yes, you can't say because your child is crying, the answer to that is to continue to beat the child. No, the child will not stop crying until you beat the child to death. So you can't say they shouldn't protest. The protest is valid. But again, I'm happy when you mentioned it, that in Lagos, that they had peaceful protests, and it's peaceful currently. And that is the way it should be. Let the people, we want to protest, no problem, go ahead and protest. In fact, like Professor Nnamdi Aduba mentioned some time ago, he advised, I was speaking with him, and he advised that we can have a particular place where we will say, okay, whenever anybody wants to protest, they should go there. And before we started this conversation, my honorable colleague here mentioned it, that of course, that should be done. So I said, well, that is it. I think going forward, what we should have, so that we don't have situations
so you think it's wrong for them to have been on the road?
Yes, because it will also infringe the rights of others who don't want to protest.
Okay.
Because yes, we have people who said we want to go on protest, but there are some people who said no, I don't want to go on protest. I want to live my life peacefully. I want to eat whatever thing I'm eating without having to have go on the street and protest. And
I'll be back to you on this point. Very, very quickly. The government tried to, bend. By bending, I mean change a couple of things, bring on a couple of things to ensure that this protest did not happen. The president met with traditional rulers. The president was, speaking through some of his aides, and a lot of things were done in the media and on social media. But we are here. Now it has escalated because whether we like it or not, persons are said to have been killed. Things have been destroyed. Whether we like it or not, we are not where we were yesterday. So how do we ensure that we do not get worse tomorrow? Because if it's starting on this note today, tomorrow, who knows where we are headed?
And before I answer that question, I would have loved us to look at what are the demands. Because if these demands are not put on the table, I will take them one after the other and say, okay, how do you end bad governance? Do you end bad governance in a day, in 2 days, in 3 days, in 1 month, in 1 year?
Some persons have said if the president comes out today to say certain ministers, of course, he said he was going to change some of them.
So how do you know which
certain ministers?
You and I don't have that yardstick. They
the
president don't have the yardstick. So it's the president. If they are performing well, he can't sack any minister. He has a yardstick. But the president again, before you even do that, you would have looked at the target you have given them. Are they meeting up? Are they working towards it? You don't just sack anybody.
Some of these people have said if they return subsidy today, they will start celebrating.
So how do you... Hold on. Let's get things clear in this country. How do you want to return subsidy when you have a Dangote refinery and you have other private people building refineries? So if you return subsidy, you don't want those refineries to grow? So let's be factual. No, that's what I'm saying. If you look at these demands, you look at it and look, these things are fictitious. Okay, so they cannot be achieved in 1 day, in 2 days, in 3 days, in 1 year, in 3 years. Suffering how?
No,
we want to bring employment, we want to bring industrialization, we want to bring development, we want to bring good things for the people. If you don't remove these things don't come. How do you want these investors to invest in your country if you don't remove subsidy?
The president promised a refinery, a working Port Harcourt refinery as at December 2023.
Exactly.
This is August.
Yes, the president promised. This is human error. It's going to be worked on. He's working on it. The protest is part of it. Give them time. If you don't give them space, if you don't allow them to breathe too, yes, how long you are asking, but if you don't allow them to breathe, they won't function. It won't come into place.
Do you think the president and the government is taking these Nigerian people for granted?
See, the reality is clear, okay? We can't say allow them, give them time. Give them time till when? We have given them time from Jonathan till date. The record we have on ground shows that we had not had a better yesterday. We are not at a better future, a better tomorrow. It's always a better yesterday, I beg your pardon. Yeah. It has always a better yesterday. So you see things getting worse by the day. And you say that these persons that have come on the streets, they are not... Listen, the reality is that things have gotten... The value of the Naira has diminished. And right before our eyes, this is not telling us that somebody is telling us a history. Sometimes before, people will be telling us, our parents will be telling us, those days we used to buy a car, 50 kobo. See, listen, now, before I even get old, I've already seen the changes, even week after week. So I can tell my child that come listen, last 2 months, we are buying rice, so amount. Today it has become so amount. The gap, the space between these things, very high. So it is concerning. The person that can eat 3 square meals before, between the space of last year and now, cannot do that again.
People are changing schools.
People are changing. They have withdrawn their children from school. Don't bring me back to that.
but again, that is not reality. I will tell you that things are the same. It's just the level of
these persons are protesting that, listen, it is not easy for us. We are suffering. See, when they say people are suffering, it's not by words of mouth. Words of mouth alone cannot describe it. Go to some people's house. It is difficult to eat. And we say we have a government. These same persons are the same persons that will line up to vote these persons in government.
So exactly where we're going
to. It is expected that within the space of 1 year, it is expected that, listen, we have voted you in, Mr. President. We have voted you in, Mr. Senator. We have voted you in, Mr. House of Rep member. We have voted you in, Councillor and Chairman. What we expected that within a space of a year, we should be feeling some kind of ease.
So
not more difficult.
Now the question is this: will the councillor go to the farm? Will the councillor be your conductor? Will the councillor be your
want to create the enabling environment.
The enabling environment will be created.
Mr.
I haven't said that. If those environments are created, it takes time to grow. It
Mr.
won't be instantaneous.
Stop insecurity today.
It's going to take time to operate.
Did your system allow them to operate?
The Dangote refinery is in another chaos that
It's going to work.
we battled on this program. Now, quick one. Like he said, which is the truth. The Nigerian people elected their leaders.
Exactly.
New set of leaders.
Exactly.
The president came on board with a different scheme.
Okay.
He came on with some kind of running.
Exactly.
But it looks like we are running back.
That's it.
No.
Where we used to.
That is how Nigerians look
It
at
looks
things.
like our past. Before I throw the question up, how can the president,
Removal of fuel subsidy.
which has put us in this precarious
Exactly.
situation,
It has to bring us to this situation so that we can realize that look, this is the real economy. This economy is not always a mixed economy. This economy is not padded. The economy has to be free. So when it's free, we get to that point where okay, this is our economy. It's not padded. It's not supported by anything. It's free, so that we can have that industrialization we are looking for.
people are asking the question.
Yeah.
People are saying the president is not opening borders for food. No, quick one.
Okay.
For food to come in.
So if you open your border, hold on.
People are saying, no, people
No,
are saying,
I'll explain that.
I'm landing.
Because if you open your borders
People
for food to come in, you will kill your own indigenous farmer. They will not grow. They will not export. In this country, we have people who are exporting tomato,
People are saying
who are
the
exporting
president is
tatashe
saying
outside, bell pepper.
If we open the borders, we are killing people.
You're going to
inside.
kill the inner
But
economy.
the president is not using Nigerian-made cars.
You think
The
so?
president is not. No, he's not.
Okay.
It's really.
Okay.
The president is not saying. The president has the largest number of ministers ever in the history of Nigeria.
Exactly, because he wants to make this
The
easy.
president has not come out to cut his salaries. The president has not directed his members of staff to cut their salaries. In fact, it is in the House of Representatives that have come out to say, even though many people are saying it is not your salaries that you guys are living on, but the House of Representatives have come out to take the lead ahead of the president. No, I'm coming. I'm looking at some of the things that the president could have said. I'm leading the suffering, in quotes.
Okay.
Nigerians, bear with me. I am your leader. I am the number one sufferer.
It's
in
clear.
quotes.
That's reality.
When the president has not done these things, how does he want people to live their own lives in suffering, in poverty, in hunger, when he's not hungry?
Sorry, excuse me. Can we stop being jealous?
Okay.
Can we stop being myopia? Can we just look at things and say, okay, he has a right to his salary. Whatever he wants to do, you have your right to your salary. Whatever you want to do, it's your salary, isn't it?
I agree.
Now, for whatever reason, you know that this man is not a pauper from inception.
Yeah. That's the more reason why
So
you can say, I don't need a salary.
So, anything you want him to do, is you want him to do.
Yes,
he has a
my
right
opinion.
to do it.
Yes.
But in governance, these are the things that he should do. He should do what? Create enabling environment. How do you create enabling environment for the establishment of refineries? Is by removing what? Subsidy, so that you can have investors. Hold on. How do you create an enabling environment for agriculture? Is by what? Doing what? Bringing inputs, importing fertilizers, importing machinery, making a mechanized farming, making room for people to do what? To farm in your country, grow those food and export them. And these things are in place. You can see in Ogun State here we have what? Our own new agro airport. These are the things this government is doing to make these things wide. If you don't look at it from that angle, you become biased and jealous and be crying out when you hear them spend money even on themselves. Somebody bought a car for his daughter. We are shouting. He has a right. She has a right. It's her father. He can buy her whatever he wants to do. But this is the problem. If you are jealous, you will not move beyond that.
Okay, quick question. The president came on board and immediately began to make economic decisions. These economic decisions, removal of fuel subsidy, was done at a time to say in the next 6 months, which was maximum of December, the refinery will be on board. The president wanted Nigerians to start suffering before there was a solution, rather than seek a solution before the people suffer without him suffering at all.
As much as I want to hold a brief for anybody, I want you to know that, look, these things, before even Buhari, before Jonathan, Labour had given the government list of things to do before you remove fuel subsidy. Now, these things were not achieved between Jonathan and Buhari period. Now, he came and said, okay, I'm taking the bull by the horn, I'm going to remove this thing. We are going to muster it together.
Last question before I move to Daniel.
Please, before I move to Daniel.
Okay.
Knowing fully well, look, it will cause a chaos. But in this chaos, we'll be able to sort out things. See, if this doesn't come this way, we can't get things sorted out. Now we are saying that our economy has to be free. It has to be liberal. We don't have to be attached to anybody or ways and means. This is what the government is doing. They are giving us free loan for students. Has any government done that?
No.
This is because they are seeing money somewhere and they want to put it in the right perspective. Let's give a time. If you give this government 3 years and it doesn't work, and you bring this protest, I will join.
Quick question.
But again, just a year plus and you're crying foul. Sorry, if you open your borders, you will kill your inner house farmers.
I agree.
So why are we should be factual on what we want. Let's look at the things we want.
The president knew that things had become times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5 expensive.
Yes.
And the president needed the people, the NLC, to protest and make noise off and online before he gave them a minimum wage.
Now,
which as of today, only came into being a couple of days
now,
ago.
you see, you also getting it a bit wrong. Now, recall that the president said he also gave them wage award. Now, go and calculate the wage award and the current minimum wage. You see that there is no difference. You see that even this government, somehow, if you look at it, they are proactive. They've given their wage award. So if you add the wage award together with what it was, that's some states. I'm talking about
an example is Ondo.
Agreed.
So came up to say
those are the
receive this money.
So those are the governors that should go and work on their own side.
If the president not passing the ball,
the president will do for the federal government workers, his own staff, his own people. Now, as we're dragging this issue on minimum wage, let me also let you know that some government practitioners earn more than 70,000 minimum wage.
Yes.
NMPC does more than that.
CBN.
FRC, Federal Inland Revenue do more than that. NIMASA do more than that. They do more than 70K.
No doubt.
Minimum wage. So you see, it's for those.
What
those
is the percentage of people working in this place?
Exactly. So okay, let's look at the majority who earn 70,000 minimum wage. The government gave them. The government gave them 30,000 wage award.
Quick one now to Daniel. The government has come out to say that the people were not listening enough. Share the student loan scheme, CNG buses coming on board. Do you think the people were a little bit too hasty to going all out like we saw today?
To say that Nigerians are jealous of the people they voted for just because they are demanding or making requests for what is actually paining and affecting their daily lives. It will be wrong to say that. Because you can't be saying that Nigerians are jealous of the person they voted for. I voted you. My vote is part of what made you so person. My vote is part of, and I'm jealous about you because I am making my demands. The reality is, everybody came out today peacefully. I am going to say it peacefully because I monitored what is happening in Abuja.
It's kind of peaceful.
Peacefully, they came out peacefully.
It's kind of
as at the time the protest started, they came out peacefully. And like I rightly said, you will always have situations whereby there are people who intentionally, of course, consciously came out peacefully, and there are people who would have again organized a counter protest to probably sabotage the protest. In Lagos, for instance, it is peaceful. If the capital, economic capital of the country is peaceful as at now, yes, of course, it should be. With what we have in Kano, like I said the other time, we have the situation in Kano because we know before now, Kano has a political crisis.
So
and those who are opposition of the current governor in the state would also make their different arrangements for the protest. So what I'm saying, in essence, based on back to your question, is that the demand is not something that is late or too early. I am saying that allow the people to say what is the problem. They have made the demands. Allow the protest. Yes, if they say they want to have the protest, I am not sure this protest is going to take between on the 1st to on the 10th. Because, of course,
when do you think it will end?
I can't project because I'm not the organizer and I don't know the organizers.
But
the reality is that yes, we will apply force, which should not be.
Are you in support? That
Which should not be. It should not be. I saw what is happening in Abuja.
In Kaduna, let me
live tear gas was being shot.
It won't be.
You were seeing tear gas flying up and down in Abuja. People running excavator because of tear gas.
No,
now it should not be.
Quick one. The security. This morning, the commissioner of police said you guys, the protesters, you guys have been restricted to the stadium and Eagle Square, but people were on the road. The protesters were saying that, well, this is the stadium. Outside of the stadium, they were saying we are at the stadium. We are not inside the stadium, but this is the stadium. You know, that was what happened. That was what happened this morning. So, don't you think the police are right when they say they are trying to clear the road for other road users?
Absolutely.
To make use of?
Absolutely.
And that was the reason why they made use of tear gas.
Absolutely.
Chase the protesters.
You know the situation in the country.
Are you saying the police would be wrong if they say that was what they did?
No. I'm saying that, one, if the police have given guideline that people should protest inside the Eagle Square.
They had a court judgment, according to them. They said they had a court judgment that said people should
stay in the stadium. At the stadium.
Was the stadium opened for them? Because remember, before now, there was issue, of course, controversy around with the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, saying, of course, the Eagle Square is not available to anybody. Yeah. Did they make announcements, or was there a report that, yes, the Eagle Square is now available to be used?
They said there was a judgment where the Eagle Square and the stadium was allowed for the protesters.
Once, in as much as if the Eagle Square is made available, it will be so wrong for anybody to go beyond the area that the government has provided. Now, why the essence of protest? The essence of protest is not an activity that must be a rally on the street. Protest is to be on a particular place.
They've been restricted to the stadium, MKO Abiola Stadium in Abuja. Now, they are outside the stadium. They didn't go inside the stadium. Outside the stadium, you are holding other Nigerians to ransom. So go inside the stadium. The police decide to tear gas them because they don't want them on the road.
We have pictures of where some protesters were bleeding.
I wonder why. So if it's going to be convenient, if it's going to be convenient for you and play the stadium, why are you
the Nigerian police force?
But do you know?
Because they would not adhere to the laws, to the court injunction, which
so
one of the
people not going inside.
I think the government should come clear and say go inside the stadium is preferable. And I think the police commissioner, the Abuja FDC commissioner, was telling them this morning to go inside the stadium. They refused. Adeyanju was saying that look, we are at the stadium. It can either be inside or outside. His word, Koniman die, Koniman bury.
All right, very quickly. Just one question to both guests in here. Now, I think the voices of these protesters carnage. How can we ensure we don't get to further chaos because we've seen chaos already? How can we? Because we are hearing that there's a curfew in Borno already.
24-hour curfew.
Yeah,
the whole state
in Borno. So we are there. Kaduna, we are there. Gombe, we are getting there. We don't want any of this. How can we ensure? How can we curb further problems? Because Tinubu is not the one getting injured. President Tinubu is not the one getting slapped. President Tinubu's blood is not the one that I saw on social media.
Though in a way, it feels it's on pressure.
How can we stop this?
I think the best approach now is to, first, the organizers of the protest should, of course, the message has been passed. For me, personally, I wouldn't want a situation where we are going to have the protest going up to 10 days. It will be too long. So I think the message has been passed. The best thing for the organizers of the protest is if you do it today and tomorrow, the best thing is to just say, okay, yes, we have passed our message. Mr. President, we expect between now and so time, we should be expecting a change. And there should be a withdrawal so that whatsoever elements and persons who are planning to create anarchy, because that is one thing we would not want in this country. Nigeria is our country. We love the country and we are okay with the country. We don't want crisis. We don't want things to be destroyed. So the best thing is for them to just
all right, Daniel,
withdraw.
It says 2 days for the protest. How do we stop further carnage?
I would have loved to see us discuss each of the demands and see how visible. For me, I think these demands are not visible.
So the carnage should not be stopped.
The carnage should be. Who's going to stop the carnage? The people should stop protesting. Go back home and sit down. Let's wait and see what's going to happen.
Immediately after 5 days.
This protest will not give us the result we want. We will just go outside and make noise and shout like we did in EdSARS.
So they should stop immediately.
Please stop now, so that no life is lost.
All right, there you have it. It's been a very interesting day here, having the roundtable with you guys, our viewers. Unlike other days where we do have 3 topics that we discuss, 3 topics that are eating up the polity One major topic has been affecting Nigerians this week, but specifically this day. It's a new month, but no, there's no feeling of a new month because we are back to our old ways of the people asking the government to do the right thing. I don't think if food had become cheaper than President Tinubu met it, we'll be protesting.
No.
I don't think if fuel had been cheaper than President Tinubu met it, we'll be protesting.
No.
I don't think if insecurity had been a thing of the past, the people will be out there protesting.
No.
So somehow it looks like the whole thing is linked to the government and the president. And we hope that the president and the government can find a solution to this crisis so that the Nigerian people can live in peace with their brothers and sisters. From everybody here, from the two guests we've had in here and other members of the production crew, it's have a fantastic day. Tomorrow, stay out of trouble. Protest if you want to, but please, and please, for the sake of you and your families, stay out of trouble. My name is Shegun Odmayo. Don't be beaten by the weekend that begins tomorrow. God bless you.